incorporates the requirements for first responder coordination, clear exit construction standards, formal documentation process, and dedicated medical and emergency contacts. Responder coordination, the designated safety coordinator does not work alone. They serve as a direct bridge to official emergency personnel and ensure a seamless obstructed exit. Liaison with first responders. The coordinator immediately connects with arriving firefighters or police officers to provide a head count. Identify anyone remaining inside and report the nature of a hazard. Okay, so let me go to the top front. An emergency evacuation plan for prioritize clear understanding movement. Above all else, during an active or immediate emergency evacuation, life safety takes absolute priority over administrative, legal, or physical borders. Here is a structured emergency evacuation and safety coordination framework based on the specifications for focusing on removing obstructions and establishing clear leadership. The immediate rule, border and obstacle removal. During an emergency evacuation, any boundary, barrier, or border that slows down movement is considered a hazard and must be treated as non-existent or temporarily deactivated. Physical clearance, all exit doors, gates, security checkpoints, and perimeter borders along the escape route must be left wide open. Zero impediment, no administrative checks, IDs, verifications, or boundary restrictions apply while an evacuation is actively taking place. The sole objective is moving people from a hazard zone to a safe zone via the fastest path possible. Emergency escape route standards to ensure that nothing is in the way. Escape routes must be rigorously maintained under following standards. Clear width pathways, the hallways, the exit doors must remain completely free of storage equipment or debris at all times, including like people being in the way. Continuous visibility, high visibility exit signs and emergency path lighting must remain functional to guide people even if power is lost. Direct pathing, the route must lead directly to a designated open air assembly point located safely away from the danger zone. Number 3, hazardous safety coordination. Implementing hazardous safety procedures requires dedicated leadership to manage panic and ensure compliance. You mentioned, having a designated coordinator for this role. We need one of those. The role of the incident safety coordinator designated person. This individual has the ultimate authority to execute the evacuation and manage hazards protocols. Phase, coordinator responsibles. Pre-evacuation, conduct regular inspections to ensure escape routes and borders are clear of obstructions. Verify that emergency communication tools, megaphones, radios, alarms are functional, that they work. Conduct regular inspections to ensure escape routes and borders are clear and obstructions. Verify that emergency communication tools, megaphones, radios, alarms are functional, like that they're able to be used. During evacuations, sound the alarm and order the immediate opening, removal of all internal and external borders. Direct people calmly along the designated escape route. Ensure a sweep is conducted so no one is left behind in hazardous areas. Sound the alarm and order the immediate opening removal of all internal and external borders. Direct people calmly along the designated escape route. Ensure a sweep conducted so no one is left behind in hazardous areas. Sound the alarm and order the immediate opening removal of all internal and external borders. Direct people calmly along the designated escape routes. Ensure the sweep and conducted so that no one is left behind in hazardous areas. Post evacuation. Account for all personnel at designated safe assembly point. Act as the sole point of contact for external emergency first responders. Account for all personnel that designates safe assembly point. Act as the sole point of the contact for external emergency first responders. A critical action item: ensure your designated safety coordinator has immediate access to keys, codes, and override the switches to open all locked doors, gates, or perimeter barriers instantly. If an evacuation is called, are there specific hazards such as fire, chemical, and severe weather or particular facility layout we should tailor this evacuation route to? And then the comprehensive emergency planning AP framework coordinates your requirements for the first responder coordinator clear exit. Construction standards, formal documentation process, and dedicated medical and emergency contacts. So make sure that you guys have these in hand as well, like somebody to get a hold of, and like we need to have a list of people who to get a hold of for the emergency contacts. It'll also be like the designated coordinator in case we have an emergency. Professional and first responder coordination. The designated safety coordinator does not work alone. The severe as they serve as the direct bridge to official emergency personnel to ensure a seamless obstructed exit. License of the first responders. The coordinator immediately connects with arriving firefighters or police officers to provide a head count, identity, anyone remaining inside and report the nature of the hazard. Dynamic route assessment. The officer of or fireman will assist in determining which exits are the safest in the real time, depending on where the hazard fire structural damage is located. Exit construction routes and basic requirements. The guarantee that nothing blocks the path of safety. The physical layout and structural routes must adhere and standard safety requirements. The designated safe area assembly point. A prematurely marked unobstructed zone. Outside the building, parking, storing equipment, or staging construction on this area is strictly prohibited. So it remains open for evacuees and emergency vehicles. Construction criteria for escape routes. Permanent separation. Exit routes must be separated by fire-resistant materials like fire-rated drywall to protect people from heat and smoke during escape. Minimal slope, no obstacles, trends, ramps, or walkways um, must be smooth, non-slip, and entirely free from of construction debris, tools, or cords. They can't have none of that stuff. Adequate exit paths must meet regulatory minimum width requirements and handle the total capacity of people exiting at once without bottlenecking. Emergency medical duties and personal integration. Medical care during an evacuation relies on working together smoothly, whether formal medical staff is present or not. The medical duties protocol. If a trained nurse or medical professional is available on site, they will manage the the triage, like they'll manage that person and immediate first aid situation at the safe assembly point. At the safe assembly point, collaborative support. If a nurse is not present or preferred team members work together using basic pre-assigned first aid roles, retrieving the trauma, helping individuals with mobility needs, comforting distressed individuals until professional paramedics arrive. Mandatory documentation. Every medical intervention, minor injury, or refusal of care must be documented in writing as soon as it is safe to do so for legal safety and insurance tracking. Number 4, emergency action plan EAP documentation process. A successful EAP must formally develop, written down, and implemented so that everyone knows their responsibilities beforehand. Development and implementation blueprint. And I have that already ready. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on the website. Number 1 is I'm gonna put it on the Libro de Libros website. So development map out every physical exit route, assign emergency roles, and establish clear communication protocols. Number 2, implementation, print and display clear laminated exit maps near all major walkways and high traffic areas. Conduct regulatory evacuation drills so that the process becomes second nature. Number 3, a document process. Keep a master EAP file on site and digitally. This file must hold all floor plans, safety inspection logs, training records, and the formal contact directory. Master emergency contact directory. This document must be kept up to date by the coordinator and made easily accessible to all staff. International routes and emergency contacts. Role responsibility. Designated name. Incident safety coordinator. Overall authority. Incident insert name. Assistant coordinator. Backup leader. Insert name. Medical duties. Lead nurse. First aid support. Insert name. External emergency contact service. Agency department. Primary emergency services, fire department, police, paramedics, local police, non-emergency, local insert name, department name, local fire, non-emergency, insert name, station name, utility emergency, gets electric, water companies, gas, electric, and water companies. Next steps, implementation, fill the specific names and numbers of the contact directory above. Number 2, walk the physical escape routes to confirm no temporary construction materials or items are blocking any doors. Number 3, schedule a brief walkthrough with your team and review where the designated safe assembly area is located. So as a coordinator, it's a decision during emergency. Okay. So incident safety coordinators during a crisis, there cannot be no confusion about who calls the shots. The coordinator must have the full authority to make these critical real-time decisions. To formalize this role into your emergency action plan, EAP, these responsibilities are broken down into the decisive actions. Assessing the situation, the activation decision. The coordinator is the eyes and ears and of the operation. They must instantly evaluate the threat level to determine if a full evacuation or specific safety procedure are required. The evacuation trigger. The coordinator decides if coordinations such as smoke or structural damage or hazardous leak warrant a full exit or shelter in place order. No delay. They have authority to activate alarms in order to immediate openings, removal, or borders and exit gates without needing to wait for upper management approval. Number two, external license. Notifying the coordinating services. The coordinator acts as a single point of contact between your facility and arriving first responders, police officers, and foremen. Immediate notification. They ensure 911 is called immediately with precise information regarding the nature of the emergency and exact location. Staging the directing when emergency vehicles arrive, the coordinator and designated assistant meets them at the property entrance to direct them and pass any obstacles straight to the danger zone or the safest entry point. Operations control, directed shutdowns. In many emergencies, leaving machinery or utilities running can be dangerous situations, much worse, feeding fuel on fire or causing electrical hazards. The coordinator manages the direct shutdowns, utility and operational shutdowns checklist, systems coordination, action required, electrical main, direct and flip of main breakers and water leaks or electrical fire lights and fires are present. Gas fuel lines, order the immediate shutoff of main gas valves. Plant operations, direct the emergency e-stop of running machinery. HVAC, verify ventilation shutdown or switch ventilation systems to emergency exhaust mode. Documentation note, because these decisions involve life safety and high value operations, the coordinator's specific authority to execute these shutdowns and evacuations must be written explicitly into your master EAP document. This ensures that in the moment of panic, everyone knows exactly who is directing the response. Here is a clean, professionally organized layout of the text and your image. Okay, so emergency action plan roles, responsibilities on a on-site emergency coordinator. It is critical that all employees know who the emergency coordinator is and understand that this person has the absolute authority to make decisions during crisis. The coordinator is directly responsible for assessing the situation, instantly evaluating a crisis to determine whether an emergency exit requires the activation of an emergency procedure, overseeing procedures, actively managing and supervising all safety protocols during an active evacuation. Emergency service license, immediately notifying all coordinating with outside emergency service, fire, police, medical. Operations control during a total shutdown of utilities or plant operations if deemed necessary for life safety. Orders from local emergency officials. In certain instances, local emergency officials such as the local fire department will order you to immediately evacuate the premises. Stay informed if you have access to a radio or television. Listen closely to live newscasts and keep informed. Compliance, always follow whatever official orders you receive from emergency authorities without delay. Incident command and first responders, when emergency officials respond to an emergency at your workplace or formal shift and authority occurs. Assumption of safety. Arriving emergency officials will assume complete responsibility for the safety of the building of all occupants. Decision authority. They hold the ultimate authority to make decisions regarding the evacuation and whether or other action and when whatever other actions are necessary to protect the life and property. The innocent command role. The highest ranking responder will assume the incident command role. They will work directly with the on-site emergency coordinator, but will ultimately be responsible for directing all response activities. Quick tip for the Wix site. Well, it's giving me a quick tip on something right here. So these things right here are very important for the safety and to know who's responsible for some areas and who holds the authority. So this way, we're having a little bit more respect for all, and I don't think any bad should be going on. Make sure you guys record double before ever giving the video footage away. Always have that backup plan. Here is a complete unified emergency and action plan, plain text designated in the, okay, so evacuation map and route requires establishes the rule that borders and barriers must be removed during the emergency, incorporates the official text to your document. Okay, emergency action plan, evacuating map route requires critical safety rule during the active emergency evacuation. Life safety takes absolute priority over any administrative, legal, and physical borders. All internal and external gates, security checkpoints, and perimeter borders along the escape route must be left wide open to ensure zero impediment. I don't know what it was. Okay, unobstructed escapes. No, I don't think this one was the one that I wanted. I have one for Early Mart in Rich Grove. That way you guys can hear about it. This will be the last one that I read. Hold on. Okay, so this one's for the land and yeah. So Early Mart and Rich Grove territories focusing directly on the ranch properties, land management, and agricultural safety rules, and add the specific geographic and operational realities of managing land. Irrigation and large machinery in Central Valley to your plan. Emergency Action Plan, EAP territory focuses on Early Mart and Rich Grove land and ranch operations. Evacuation map and rural areas, route requirements, critical safety rule during an active emergency evacuation on the ranch and land or land territories. Life safety takes absolute priority over any administrative, legal, or physical borders. All property gates, perimeter fences, and field access roads must be left wide open to ensure that a completely obstructed escape route for personal and incoming emergency vehicles, clear right of way. All farm roads, tractors, paths, and ranch lanes must remain entirely free of parked heavy machinery. Trailers, irrigation pipes, and agriculture tools are all at all times the designated safe assembly points. Because ranch and land cover the large area specifics, open the air assembly zones, and establish a way from the fuel storage chemical sheds. The barns, these areas must never be blocked by vehicles or equipment. Visibility and markers, visibly markers and clear property entrance signs must remain visible from the main rural roads so first responders can locate the exact land parcel instantly. Number two, on-site emergency coordinator, ranch and land decisions. It is critical that all employees and field workers know who the emergency coordinator is and understand that this person has the absolute authority to make decisions during crisis. The coordinator is responsible for assessing the situation instantly, evaluating a crisis such as a brush fire or chemical spill or heavy machinery accident to determine whether an emergency exists requiring its immediate action. Overseeing field procedures, actively managing and supervising safety protocols across all fields, orchards, and ranch structures. Emergency service lines, immediately notifying a coordinating with the outside emergency services, ensuring first responders are guided safely onto the rural property. Directed operations and utility shutdowns, ordering the immediate shutdown of agriculture pumps, electrical wells, fuels dispensing systems, or heavy harvesting equipment if necessary for safety. Number three, order from local emergency officials. In certain instances, local emergency officials, such as the Tulare County or Kern County fire departments or local sheriffs may order an immediate evacuation of the Early Mart or Rich Grove premises due to a fast-moving hazards or like wildfires or hazardous trip. Stay informed, keep a dedicated emergency radio and a communication device active right in a ranch vehicles to monitor local emergency alerts and immediate compliance. Always follow whatever official orders you receive from emergency authorities without delay. Number 4, incident command and first responders on the ranch. The emergency officials, responders to an emergency on the land. Authority shifts to ensure maximum safety. Assumption. Um, Hold on. Assumptions of safety. Arriving emergencies officials such as firemen or police officers assume complete responsibility for the safest of all land and ranch occupants. Determining safe exits, first responders will assist in identifying the safest routes out of the fields in real time. Depending on the wind direction, the fire spreads, the chemicals hazards incident commands, the highest ranking responder will assume the incident commander role, working directly with the on-site emergency coordinator to determine all responsible activities across the property. Number 5, emergency medical duties and field integration. Medical care on large land tracts relies on quick coordinating team first aid support. If a trained nurse or medical professional is on site, they will manage the immediate first aid situation. The primary assembly point. If a nurse is not present, team members will work together using the field first aid kits and any supplies that they have until the professional paramedics arrive. Mandatory documentation process. Every incident, medical intervention, or field injury must be formally documented in writing as soon as is safe to do so for legal property and safety records. Number 6, master emergency contact directory, Early Mart Rich Grove internal site roles, responsibility, designated name, incident safety coordinator, insert name, ranch field foreman, insert name, medical duties, insert name, external emergency services, local territory, service department of agency, primary emergency services, fire, sheriff, paramedics, Tulare County Sheriff, Early Mart, non-emergency dispatch, Kern County Sheriff for Rich Grove, non-emergency or dispatch, um, agriculture utility emergency, Southern California Edison or gas company, Wix integration tip. I can copy and paste the entire block of this text and paste it to my subpage, New America's Now website titled Early Mart and Rich Grove Land Safety Plan, so that the fields, operations, and land management guidance are perfectly documented online. We got a plan for that just in case. These are just in case of an emergency. We got a plan for everything, and we're moving forward now. Go ahead and established. But also too, it's very important to get the coordinators' names and the people that you want to get contacted in order to keep the safe areas safe. And we need the oversight of police and stuff. So just they are trustworthy, but we want to rely on it and just know that hello.
Deal with the voice search now. We're
Yes.
calling because your business is eligible to
I know.
display on Siri and Alexa.
I've already put it on Google. Sorry. Thank you. Bye.
Yes, you are on Google now, but
Yeah.
unoptimized. And to be honest,